Hi, I'm Johnny, and you're watching the Hexy Beast. And on today's episode, I'm going to be doing a review of this game right here, Warfighter 4th Edition from Dan Verssen Games. And I just want to say, before we start, that I was provided a review copy of this game. And with that out of the way, let's just get on with it, shall we? Okay, so let's get a look at the back of the box. Warfighter places you and up to 5 of your friends in modern combat missions. You begin each mission by selecting your highly trained operators and equipping them with the world's best weapons, equipment and skills. During the mission, you will engage hostiles as you advance through locations on the way to your objective. This box includes cards with 3 settings: Middle East insurgents, jungle drug cartels, and Middle East military. Warfighter can be played with 1 to 6 players. Each player takes on the role of a special forces soldier running a tactical mission. The game system controls the hostile forces. Warfighter does not require any special rules for solitaire play. So, let's have a look how this game plays, shall we? Okay, so before I start setting up, the first thing we do is I'm going to take all these tokens out and I'm going to set them aside off screen. So we have our XP tokens, player designation tokens, action tokens, hardy, melee. These are going to be targeting for the enemy. These are wounds. These are killed in action or suppressed tokens. And all the various ammo and equipment at the bottom by here. I'll show you them as I use them, but for right now they're going to be off screen for most of the video. Okay, so the first part of setup, as you can see here, is selecting our region and hostiles. And today I'm going to be going for the jungle, so I'm going to be setting up these cartel hostile deck because they are also jungle. Okay, so I've shuffled these, and then what we're supposed to do next is shuffle up the action deck and place it in this spot. Just like this. Okay, so next we're supposed to choose our mission and objective cards. And I'm just going to show you how to do that. So first we're just going to grab these 2 mission and objective decks. I'm just going to show you how each one works now. Okay, first let's get a look at a mission card. And as you can see, the one I'm going to choose this time is Covert, which, because this is a mission card, they all pretty much have an entrance cost of 0. This is the resources we're going to get to actually spend on our unit that we're going to be sending in. And we also have 8 turns in the time in order to get to our objective. This also tells us where to place our objective card, which I'm going to show you in a minute. And it also says we have a -1 penalty to our loadout, which I'll show you when we're equipping soldiers. We also got to remember that at the start of our first soldier turn, we get Recon 1, which basically means that we get to have a look and take a location card into our hand straight away. Okay, so we're just going to place this timer token on the number 8 space on the mission timer at the top. And then we're going to choose our objective, and in this case I've chosen to go for the cartel boss. They have a reinforce of 0 and 1, which I'll explain as we get to it. Basically the objective means that we're going to have to kill this boss, and they are screened by all hostiles, which basically means screening means I can't attack this until I've defeated whatever it's screened by. And based on our objective number by here, it's going to go on the number 4 space, which means we have to get through 2 locations in order to get to our objective. So now is the time to select and equip our soldiers. And if we look at our mission card, we see we've actually got 37 points to spend on our unit. So let's show you how that works now. Okay, so let's have a look at the 3 kinds of soldiers we can recruit. The first is a normal soldier, the ones that are controlled by a player. These get a hand of cards and have to choose their own equipment. As you can see, this one's going to cost me 9 points of my total. He has 1 movement, and he also has 2 armor. He has a health of 6, which also determines his hand size. He has a loadout amount of 11. If you remember, we got -1 because of our mission card. So he's actually got a loadout of 10. So I'm going to take him with me, and then we also have the second kind of soldier we can take with us, which is the non-player soldier, which is denoted by this. Now these will actually get only the equipment that is printed on their cards, and they also have a health value shown by here. So this little table basically says when he's at 3 to 2 health, he's going to get 2 actions, and when he's at 1 health, he's only going to get 1 action. As you can see, this guy has a movement of 3 and an armor of 3, so he's quite useful, so we're going to be taking him along as well. So that's 19 so far. Then the third kind of soldier we can have is the squad soldier. Now these are pretty much automated in the same way that the enemies are. They have a health value which determines how many actions they get, the range 1 kill, and they range 0 kill. They don't actually take any equipment or any hand of cards. This one has 3 movement and 3 armor, and he costs us 12 RP, and he's going to go into our unit as well. Okay, so far that brings the RP cost of our unit to 31, which leaves us with 6 points to equip our main soldier right here. So let's do that now. I'm going to show you how that works. So I've decided to spend my remaining 6 points on this M16A2 rifle, which can be fired at both ranges. It needs to reload if it ever rolls a 2 on a D10, kills on a 7 at range 0, kills on an 8 at range 1. I'll explain range as we get to it. It also has 2 fire modes, semi where we only roll 1 D10, and burst where we're going to be rolling 2 D10 every time we use it. Also, it takes 6 ammo. This doesn't take anything from our weight or anything right now, but if we wanted to take an extra 6 ammo, that would also cost us another RP and a point off our loadout. So that's 3, and now we've got 3 points left to spend. So I'm going to take this canteen, which is an equipment, which if we do end up using it, will allow us to draw 3 extra cards, which can be actually very useful. And I'm also going to take 2 of these M67 grenades, which have a range of 0, they kill on a 6, and they roll 4 dice in an explosion. Also, they're expended, they have penetration 1, which means they can get through 1 lot of armor. There's a limit to 4 we can carry, and they're going to cost 1 RP each, and I'm going to take 2 of them to round out our loadout for this soldier. Okay, now I'm just going to load his weapon with these tokens, which are double-sided. So if we do have to reload, these will flip over and they'll be on the empty side, which will cost us an action to actually get rid of. So we'll have to bear that in mind when we're playing. So I'm just going to take these 6 ammo tokens, and I'm going to place them by here on the card, so we know how much ammo he has left in his M16A2 rifle. I'm also going to take the 2 grenades I bought and put them by here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this number 1 soldier designation, place it on his card to denote he's number 1, and then I'm going to take another one of the same and I'm going to put it on the mission space. Okay, so next we're going to take these 4 targeting tokens of the same number as the soldier designation up here. We're going to place them into an opaque container. And the container I've chosen in this case happens to be this nice Hexy mug, so I'm just going to do that and place that there. So now we're going to set up our non-player soldier, which I'm going to do same as before. Got a soldier out here, plus if you look at his card, we've got equipment we've got to get for him, which is the MP5, SMG suppressed version, and the first aid kit. So I'm going to take the MP5, place it by here, and the first aid kit, and place it by here. You may notice these also have ammo counts. In fact, in the case of this MP5, you actually get 8. But notice, it only has a range of 0, but it does kill on a 7. It also has an auto fire mode, which allows us to roll 3d10. So here's the 8 ammo, and we're also going to need the bandages. And there's only actually 3 tokens in the game, so I'm going to assume the card itself also counts as 1. So this will be expended if there's no tokens on it. Okay, that was a lot more simple than setting up our own player. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the same as before. We're going to take these, place one on the card itself, one on the mission card, and then we're going to do this, take these 4 and chuck them in the cup with the others. And now lastly, we got the easiest one to set up, the squad soldier, which is just going to take his little number thingy. I'm going to put that on the thing as well, on the mission space should I say. And I'm also going to take these 4 and chuck them in the cup along with the others. And these are all going to get 2 actions each, unless otherwise noted on the card. So that's 2 for this guy, 2 for this guy, whoops. And in fact there's 3 on this one, so we're going to have 1, 2, 3 actions for our covert soldier. Okay, now what we're supposed to do is place counters, although I've already done the timer counter, which is actually by here. And that just means we're just going to have to place this inactive counter on our objective, and then we can deal action cards and then get on with the mission. So because our soldier has 6 health, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's have a look what we got. See already. So basically, if you pull one of these location markers, what you're going to be doing is you're actually just going to be pulling 1 card from the location deck and replacing it. So this location marker will get discarded, and now we have an incline to look at. There we go. Now we can get on with our first soldier turn. So don't forget that we also got this recon effect, which allows us to draw another location. Oh nice, a village. So notice this only got an entrance cost of 1. It will reinforce in the reinforce phase 0 to 3. And because we are in the second stage, it's only going to have 2 points of hostiles on it. Also, it's free to play. Okay, so turns in Warfighter are handled in two phases, the soldier turn and the hostile turn. And in the soldier turn, anything in this little list will actually cost us an action. So that'll be attacking, a card with the action word on it. Reloading will cost us an action. Discard and draw, which is the only way we get new cards into our hand. Move, it's going to cost us an action. And so is removing a suppress token. Also, at this point, we would have to pay retain costs if we wanted to keep any cards that had the retain keyword. And then we would move on to the hostile turn, where they would then reinforce and attack us. Then if there's any close range, they would handle that. Then they're going to remove their own suppress counters, and then they're going to advance the mission timer. This is the combat flow, which I'll explain more when we actually get into it. But anyway, let's just get on with our first soldier turn. Okay, so let's have a look at one of these action cards and show how they work. As you can see, they can either spend them to go towards a movement cost, if there was one, or I can use their ability. And as you can see, it says me, being my player soldier, not my non-player soldier or my squad, because as you can see in brackets by here it says any soldier, which basically means we'd be upgunning it. And to upgun something you need to spend an XP. So right now I could only use this on myself, but if I had an XP I could use it with any soldier. But anyway, that's not what I think I'm going to be doing right now, because there's something right here that's not going to cost me an action, which is reveal this village location. So let's show you how that works now. Okay, so first I'm going to place the location card by here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to look at this table, and we're basically going to draw reinforcements up to this number in order to give us enemies to fight. So right now, as we are at 37, we're going to go from this second spot, which is actually 2 points of enemies. So what we're doing is going to be flipping cards over here, looking for that top corner. Right now, we've actually got an event, which is 2. And it says either pay 2 XP or soldiers not in this location cannot attack hostiles in this location. Lucky for us, I'm just going to let this go through because there's not going to be any soldiers here for us to attack. This might actually work very well in our favour. So we're just going to discard that. That was our 2 points. And then we're going to move on to our actual player turns. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do first is I'm going to spend 1 action from everyone in order to move everyone over. So I'm going to spend 1 action to my main soldier to move him in here, because his movement cost is a 1, and so is this village, so it means they can just move in. Same here, we're going to spend 1 of his actions to move him in, and then we're going to spend 1 of number 3's actions to move him in. So now everyone's got 1 action left, apart from our squad soldier, who's got 2 because he started with 3. Okay, so I'm trying to decide what to do next. I was tempted to play this incline this turn, but if I do, there's going to be 6 points of enemies out there, and I don't think I'm going to be able to deal with what they throw at me if I do that now. So what I might do is actually do a discard and draw. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to discard 5. Just remember, only the actual player soldier can do this. So I'm going to discard 5 of these. And I'm going to draw another 5 from the action deck. So that's 1. Ooh, nice. 2, 3, 4. Ooh, nice. 5. Okay, so we're going to have 3 locations to choose from. So we're going to take these, discard them, and draw 3 from the location deck. So that's 1, 2, 3. Okay, this might be a lot easier than we expected. Okay, so looking at the locations we've got in hand, I actually think our best option might be to play this clearing as our next location card, as it's free to play, and in our current banding it's only going to have 3 points of enemies. It also means our path to the boss is actually going to be quite easy. Also got to bear in mind that it says to move the objective card 1 location card farther from the mission card. So by playing this now, it actually means we're actually going to be struggling for time, but we're going to do it anyway. So it's free to play. It's going to do that, and then it's going to move this 1 spot up here, and then we're going to check this table, and we're going to draw 3 points worth of hostiles. So let's see. First, we have 2 zeros. That's great. So at the same time we draw these hostiles, we're also going to draw targeting for them. So, for example, this means that would be targeting the number 3 soldier, and that would be targeting number 2 soldier. So let's just keep drawing until we get our 3 points. And there we go. Perfect. So as you can see, this kind of works the same as our squad soldier. When they've got 3 health, they're going to be rolling off this table. When they've got 2 health, they're going to be rolling off this table. And there's basically 3 of them there. And what we're trying to do in combat is we're basically trying to cover up these with these enemy killed in actions in order to gain XP equal to the corner on that card. Also, they can be suppressed during battle, which basically means that even though he's not dead, in their turn, it would still only actually count as 2 soldiers available. So anyway, let's place him down and draw his targeting. And he is going to be targeting number 2. Okay, right now we have 3 actions left to sort of do some damage to these. The good thing to note is that the thugs attack at range 0, which means they're going to have to move into our space instead of shoot at us next time. But we also got to bear in mind that our MP5 SMG only fires on a range 0 as well. So in order to actually take a shot with this player, we would need to actually move him into the space. And I don't think I've got anything in my action deck right now that can let me do that for free. But we do have this sniper support card. But as you can see, it doesn't cost me an action, but it says once each soldier turn, attack a hostile card with a value of 0 or 1 and inflict 1 kill. We don't gain XP, and to attain this, it would cost us 2 XP. So I'm actually going to use this. Let's also pay attention to the fact that it says support 2, which means we're going to have to discard 2 other cards in order to get through. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to take these 2 entrance 4 cards out of the game, and they're going to get discarded. So now because we've done that, I've played the sniper support card, which is also discarded. Well, if we choose to retain it, which we haven't got the XP to, so I'm just going to discard it now after I do it. I'm going to kill off 1 of these thugs. I'm going to take this one who's targeting number 3. Okay, so because that didn't cost me any actions, we didn't get XP even though there's none available here. We're just going to discard this into a hostile discard pile by here. Okay, next, what I think might be a good idea is to move player 2 using his last action into this clearing by here, which as you can see has an entrance cost of 3 and his movement is 3. So we should be all good just to spend that action and just move into this space like so. Now we're going to have some fun with some combat. Okay, so we've got 2 actions left with our squad soldier. Right now he's at the village, which means in order to attack one of these he's going to be at range 1, because if they were here they would be range 0. And right now number 2 is actually in this location, so this guy is actually going to attack and not just move over. So I think our best bet would be right now would be to move 3 into the location, but we haven't really got the card. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to take a shot from range 1, which in this case is going to kill on a 6. So let's explain how combat works. So basically when we're rolling, based on our shot, so in this case it's just going to be a single shot, we're going to roll 1d6 for the cover, which we basically have to beat the cover value on the card itself, which in this case is going to be a 2, so we're going to target this guy. And then we're going to roll a d10 with it. So if you remember what's said on our card over here, we're going to hit on a 6 plus. So let's see what happens. Oh no. Okay, so we did manage to get past its cover, but we didn't actually manage to get a kill. What this means is that we're actually going to suppress the enemy. So in this case, he's going to put 1 suppress token on here, meaning that all this text is pretty much null and void right now, until in the hostile phase they remove the suppress token. Okay, and for a final action, I think I'm going to try that again on the card above it. So what I'm going to do is we're going to try and beat a cover roll of 2, and we're trying to roll above a 6. So let's do that now. Give him a roll. Okay, so in this case we've actually got a kill because we've just hit our 6 and we got through the cover. So we're going to take one of these tokens, and that's permanently going to block a space from here, meaning on the hostile turn he's going to roll off this number 2 table in the middle. Okay, so now that all our actions are spent, we're now going to move on to the hostiles phase. So let's have a look at that. Okay, so the first part of the hostile turn is the reinforcement draw. So let's do that now. Okay, so the way a reinforcement draw works is basically we're going to draw cards from the hostile deck matching a range, which is printed by here. As you can see in the clearing, we have a reinforcement of none, so this isn't going to be reinforcing, but this is. So we're going to draw 1 card, and if it's between range 0 and 3, it's actually going to spawn. So let's see. We've drawn a 2, which is a leader. Has no special instructions. It's reinforced 0. It's got inspire. So we're also going to draw a target in for him. And the token he drew is a 1, meaning that he's actually going to target our player soldier this turn. Okay, so now that we've actually dealt with the reinforcement phase, what's going to happen is that the soldiers are going to attack. And in this case, this leader is going to go and attack number 1. And basically combat works the same as it does for us. They have a table, it tells you what's going to happen. If he rolls 2 or less, he's going to miss. That's if he gets through my armor, which in this case is a 2. If he rolls 3 to 5, I'm going to take 1 wound. If he rolls 6 plus, I am going to take 2 wounds. So let's see how this rolls out for me. Okay, so he's beaten my armor and he rolled 5, which means he is going to cause 1 wound. Okay, so let's talk about wounds a second. So these are wound tokens. They have 2 sides, one healed and one unhealed side. Basically, each wound can only be healed once. So we're going to place this wound down on him right now. If we were to heal it, we would only be able to heal it once. So it means that we can't just keep healing and healing and healing and survive a mission. I don't think that's going to be much of a problem right now. Also bearing in mind that because we're now on 5 health, when we discard and draw, we're only actually going to be drawing up to 5 cards. Okay, so now these guys are going to fire and they're going to work pretty much in the same way. I'm going to be rolling off this table, as one of them is already dead, which means that on a 4 or lower they're going to miss. On a 5 to 8 they're going to give me 1 wound, and on a 9 plus they're going to give me 2 wounds. So let's see. Okay, so they got through my armor and they rolled a 5. In which case they are going to give me a 1 wound on number 2. Okay, so that's 1 wound on number 2, and notice this may affect this rolling table. In this case it says if he has 3 or 2 health, he still gets 2 actions, but if he was to take another damage, he would actually lose an action, making him only get 1 action per turn. So now all that's left as part of the hostile turn is that we're going to remove the suppressed counters, and we're going to move the timer forward by 1. Now, let's get on to our second turn. Okay, so we've refreshed all our actions, and I think the first thing I'm going to do in this case, as we've only got 1 card left in our hand, is I'm going to do a discard and draw action with my player soldier. So we're going to discard and draw up to 5 in this case, because we're actually down 1 on health. 3, 4, and 5. Okay, let's have a look what we got. Ooh, nice. This is good. This basically means that any soldier can perform a move without spending an action. That's going to be really handy for me this turn. Well, only if I upgun it, but we haven't got any XP yet. But I'm going to use it on my player soldier, actually. We also got Suppress, which is another one. If you play after re-rolls for a hostile attack card, discard 1 ammo for the weapon, and that card. Ooh, we got lots of good things. And play 1 XP to play. Declares a stealth or suppressed attack. That's going to be useful for player 2. Automatically get an attack all 10 and defeat cover. Ooh, that's basically a free kill. But it is covert 1. That means we're going to have to discard 1 card to use it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this move out card in order to perform a move action without spending an action. And I'm going to do it with my first player, obviously, because I can't upgun it. And we may notice that the entrance is 3 and my player is actually only got a movement of 1. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to have to discard another 2 cards in order to get through. And I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take this, take cover, and the suppress away in this case. So he can now move straight into the clearing. And as he has 1 action left, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to target this thug here for an attack. Okay, so if we look at the card here, you can see I'm going to use this rifle, which means we put 1 ammo at stake, so I'm just going to knock that to the side to remind myself. If this needs to reload, we'd basically flip this, and it would cost us an action next turn to discard it in order to fire the gun again. And I'm actually going to fire it in burst fire mode. We are at range 0, which means we need 7 to kill. So let's go do that now. Okay, so that means we're going to be rolling 1d6 and 2d10s in burst fire mode against this 2 armor. Let's see what happens. Oh no, okay, so we have killed this unit, but it has 0 in its XP, so we're not actually going to gain XP. But we have also rolled this, so it's important to remember that we can, in the same roll, we can hit and need to reload our gun. So first, let's deal with a hit. So this is basically going to add a kill to this guy, basically getting rid of him, giving me any XP he had, which he doesn't, and then removing him from the board into his own discard pile over here. Then what's going to happen is I'm going to need to reload my weapon. Okay, now we're going to be reloading this M1682 rifle by turning this over and placing it back on top of the pile. This means that it's going to cost me an action next turn in order to actually reload this weapon. Okay, so looking at the current situation, it might actually be a very good idea to have 3 take a shot at this guy. So that's going to cost him an action. Okay, so this is actually going to be quite tricky because we're going to need to roll 5 on the cover dice in order to get through. But remember that if at least one of them succeeds, we're still going to get suppression. So let's see how that goes. So what we're looking for is, we're looking 5 for cover, and what we need is a 4 to kill. So that should be alright. Oh no! Snake eyes. Alright, so that attack just completely fails. But I'm going to spend another action with my squad soldier to do it again. And let's see what happens. Hey, we got the armor and we got the... Oh, nice. We just got it. Okay, so that means that this guy is now dead because there's only one on the card. And we're going to get 2 XP. One of these things. It's the first time we get one of these this turn. So we're going to get 2 of these. Okay, so here's his 2 XP. We now have some XP to spend in order to upgun some cards. I know he doesn't have a hand of his own, but he can still spend his XP to upgun the player cards. So what I'm actually going to do now is I'm going to spend the next action to move number 3 in. And as you can see, the entrance value is 3, and so is his movement value. So we can just move straight in. Okay, so now we're going to do something interesting. Because if you look, we've still got this stealth kill, which is going to be covert 1, which means we can discard this. And in order to upgun it, we're going to need any soldier. It doesn't cost an action to play, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the XP of this soldier to upgun this card, change it to any soldier. Now, when my second player declares a stealth or suppressed attack, which because he's got this MP5, he's going to on these, which means he is now going to automatically get an attack roll of 10 and a defeat cover roll of 6, which means he's basically automatically getting a kill on there. So we're just going to add a kill to this. And that obviously that attack cost an action for player 2. Now player 2 is actually going to take another attack action, hoping to kill these off. And looking at is we need, we're going to fire it in auto. So we're going to take all 3 d10s and we're going to fire that. Okay, so we've beaten the cover by 3, yes. We've got 1 hit and no reloads. Okay, so this card is now dead. And player 2 is going to get 3 XP. Nice. And here is his 3 XP. Okay, so that brings us on to the next hostile phase, which in this case we don't reinforce. And there's nothing on the board to actually shoot at us. So what we're going to do is we're just going to move this timer forward by 1. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do for my first action this turn, as we still need another location card, is I'm going to do a discard and draw, as we have no cards in our hand. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 new cards in our hand. Hopefully we get a location, which we didn't. Typical. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to expend this canteen in order to draw 3 more cards. So that's 1, nice, 2, 3. Okay, so as we drew a location marker, we're going to discard that. I'm going to draw another location card. And this time we got Deep Jungle. Okay, so he's still got 1 action left. So what I'm going to do is I think I might actually spend this action to play this location. So that cost me 1 action to play. And it's going to spawn 4 points worth of hostiles. So let's do that now. So we have 2 points. And another 2 points. Okay, so I think at this point what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to skip ahead into the point that we reveal the boss, and then we'll carry on from there. Okay, so a couple of turns later, and we've dealt with the 2 guards over here. We gained 4 XP, which is over on our soldiers. We've done our next hostile phase, and as you can see in Deep Jungle, there was no reinforcement. So now we're at the start of our next turn, and what we're going to do is we're going to choose to remove this inactive token from by here. So then start the boss fight. And if we take a look at this cartel boss, it now means that our goal is to kill the boss, plus 0 size. We got a cover roll of 3 to defeat, requires 2 kills to kill, and the hostiles in this location will screen it, which means we can't attack it until we've defeated those hostiles. So in this case, we're going to be drawing 6 points of hostiles. So let's do that now. We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, if you look here, it says here we've got to place him frontmost, which in this case, because our frontmost soldier is in here, it's actually going to come into this location. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, and it also increases the entrance cost, which means we now have a 6 entrance cost to get into this location. Okay, so looking at our current situation, I think what we need to do is deal with this sniper. Right now, I think the best way for me to do that is to have my squaddy fire a couple of shots at him. Okay, so remember at range 1, our squaddy is going to hit on a 6. Okay, so here we go. So we need 4 on cover, and we need 6 to hit. So here we go. Nice. What a roll. So this guy is dead, and we get 3 XP. Nice. That's exactly what I want to see. I think next I'm going to have my non-player soldier attack this hired missile. And I think I'm going to be using this prepared fire to do it. And I'm going to basically spend an XP to enable it for any soldier, which basically allows us to ignore the cover roll entirely. So let's do that now. Okay, so that's 1 XP from this guy. And that means that he is going to be firing with his MP5. If we look, it kills on a 7, has a range of 0, and we're going to fire it in auto mode, meaning we're going to roll all 3 d10s. Okay, so because we use prepared fire, I'm just going to take this out because this is always going to be a 6. So we're basically looking for anything 7 and above to hit. Okay, so we hit 1, but we do have to reload. But that does mean this guy is dead, and we get 2 XP. So there's our 2 XP, and we're also going to have to reload our SMG for the first time in the game. Also, let's not forget that my attack did actually cost me an action, so flip this. Okay, so looking at the way things are right now, what I'm actually going to do, I think, is I am going to spend both of these actions to take 2 pot shots at those drug runners. So 1 action, and for the first action I'm going to declare this one, which suppresses. And then for my second action I'm going to roll on this one, which in this case, it just misses. Okay, next what I'm going to do, looking at my hand, I'm actually going to take the snapshot action, which allows me, I'm going to actually activate it with my player 1, to an attack action without spending an action. So we're just going to discard that and do that. And the action I'm going to take is going to be a burst fire for 2 dice with 8s to hit at range 1. Okay, so the guy I'm targeting is this guy at range 1. And we have got a cover roll of 3 to beat, and we kill on an 8. Okay, talk about luck. Okay, so we've got our cover roll and we rolled a 9. Nice, so that's a kill on this unit, which means this is down and we gain an XP. So goodbye. Okay, so now all we've got to do is kill this guy, and then we're pretty much able to start attacking the cartel boss. You may also notice that I changed my mind about the burst fire, so I actually only rolled 1d10. But I'm also going to use an action to attack this drug runner, and I am actually going to use the burst fire with that one. Okay, so that's burst fire, so I have to roll 1d6 and 2d10s, so let's see how we do. Okay, so we got through the cover. We did kill it, but we also have to reload because of this too. So we're just going to flip over this top ammo token, and then I'm going to spend my second action actually reloading it. Okay, so that just leaves soldier number 2 with 1 action left, and I think I'm actually going to use it to heal his wound. Well, actually, I'm going to use it to heal our player 1 wound. Okay, so the way this works is I am going to expend 1 bandage and spend 1 action, which I'm going to do now. And then I'm going to roll a dice, and based on the result, which is a 10, I'm going to heal 2 wounds, but I can only heal 1. So we're going to do that. Okay, so that brings us back onto the hostile phase, and as we're all in the deep jungle, which doesn't have any reinforcements, it means that we're not going to draw any new units, and nothing's going to fire on us. So we're just going to move the turn timer and get on with our next turn, where we're hopefully going to be able to kill the boss. Okay, so looking at my current hand of cards, I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to spend 1 XP from this guy in order to allow any soldier to perform a move action without spending an action. So we're going to spend that with this XP, and then what we're going to do is we're going to move this guy into the next location. He's got a movement of 3. So that's going to cost us 1 extra card. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to discard this good comms card in order to allow the second player to move into here. And off he goes. Okay, so now with the second action, I'm also going to try and kill one of these boss kills. And the way I'm going to do that is, just remember, I got to defeat a cover of 3. And I've also got to get a 7 to kill. So let's see how this works. Okay, so we got 6 on cover, so that's no problem. And we also gain 1 of the kills we need. Okay, so we're only 1 kill away from actually succeeding. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use an action with my squad soldier in order to take a shot at the boss from where he is. And he is going to hit on a 6+. And he didn't hit, but he is going to suppress, but obviously in the boss's case there is no icon to cover up. So he's going to spend another action doing that again. And hopefully he gets... Aha! Okay, so in this case he is killed. We have successfully completed the scenario. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the table and tell you what I think. Okay, so now that you've seen how the game is played, it's time for me to tell you what I think. And the first category is going to be aesthetics. And I have to say, I did quite enjoy a lot of the photographs used in this. I know a lot of people don't like photographs on cards, so for that reason I've actually given it an 8. But I actually think the fact that each one of these cards actually has info on the soldier pictured, and there's a lot of actual soldiers in this game, I actually quite found it enjoyable reading a little bit of text below each picture of the card to see who it was and what regiment they were part of. As well as that, I did notice that some of the cards here, such as the cartel boss himself, are actually some sort of artist rendering, they're not actual photographs. So for that reason I've decided to give it an 8 out of 10 for aesthetics. Okay, so that brings us on to gameplay, and in this category I've decided to give it a 9 out of 10. This is mainly because I really like the mix of card play and dice rolling. I also felt that the mission timer was about just right to keep that sense of tension going without it feeling like I just didn't have time to do stuff. I also found that I really enjoyed the equipping of my soldiers and stuff before each round of the game. I enjoyed the whole ammo system. I like the fact that I had to reload weapons. I like the fact that the wounds are actually tied to the amount of actions you can perform. There's just generally a lot of systems that really slot really well together in this game. So for that reason, I've decided to give it a 9 out of 10. The only thing I think that some people might not like is the amount of time spent actually equipping your soldiers, because there is actually a lot of gear to choose from. But for me, that wasn't really a problem, and it was actually something that really enhanced my experience. So I really enjoyed it, and that's why it's got 9 out of 10 in gameplay. Okay, so that brings us on to accessibility. And in this category, I've decided to give it an 8 out of 10. One of the main reasons it lost some points was down to this card reference. I think it's good that it has all the keywords on it, and it is kind of useful. I just kind of feel that I would have enjoyed it a bit more if the actual keywords themselves were maybe in bold text or something like that. And as well as that, some people might have a problem with this living rulebook. I quite didn't mind it. I was able to learn the game once I'd read it all the way through. But the main issue with it is it does include all information on all other versions of Warfighter as well as the expansions. So it can be quite overwhelming if all you want to do is learn the base game. But although that might be a little bit of a hurdle, I actually didn't find it too much of a problem as long as you're willing to read from cover to cover when you first get the game. This living rulebook, like I said, is something I didn't really mind. So for that reason, I've decided to give it an 8 out of 10 for accessibility. Okay, so that gives Warfighter 4th edition a total score of 8.3 out of 10, which is a great score from me. I've really enjoyed it, and as you can probably tell, I think it's best that I just go leave and drink some lem sips, as I've had a bit of a bad chest lately. So I just want to say, if you like what you see here, please feel free to check out the link to Firestone Games in my description. Also, don't forget to smash that subscribe button there, and check out another one of my videos by here. Anyway, I've been Johnny, you've been watching the Hexy Beast, thank you for watching, and most of all, stay Hexy everyone!